All right, welcome back to Fright Night Flicks. You're here with Dan and Darren. What is good in the hood?
Everything is good in the hood here, Dan. What's up, guys?
This is post-Halloween.
Yeah.
Did you guys have a good Halloween? How was your Halloween, actually?
Well, we haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
we're going to do it tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You know what I'm excited? I'm going to do some pumpkin carving. I love it. That's like my little passion.
Well, that's good. I don't do that, so yeah, it's good of you.
Yeah, I'll post
I'm happy
it
for you.
I'll post on Discord. Become a member, and you can check it out.
Do you carve everyone's or just yours?
Usually I'll do the kids too, unless I think one of them wants to do their own this time. But usually I'll take orders. You know what I mean? You tell me what you want, I'll get it done.
I've been trying to get the kids to watch scary movies with me. It's not going great. Like I tried to get them to watch like Hocus Pocus or something, right?
It's too boring to
It's
them.
too boring. They're not into it.
But I don't even blame them because I'm not a huge Hocus Pocus. You know what I do want to watch tonight though?
Huh?
Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good sleeping movie too. You know what I'm saying? To throw on and like fall asleep too.
No, because there's
slow.
too many. If you're going to use a sleeper, first of all, horror is not really what I'm going for. And you don't want any loud noises. And I feel like there's a couple loud noises in there.
There might be.
Okay. This week, we are going to review a movie Darren cannot wait to talk about, and that is Terrifier 3.
I honestly never thought I'd watch another Terrifier after Terrifier 1, but this was a different experience, a little bit.
It was. This was a... Well, we'll get into the initial impression, but let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a brief breakdown, give a little overview. This one will spend a little more time on the overview because this isn't even out. You have to go to theaters for this, unless you know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah, so I didn't go to the theater.
Kind of. So we'll give a little bit of spend a little more time on our initial impression. Then we're going to do a full breakdown of this movie because there is some absurd things that happen. Like shockingly, I think it is kind of like a controversial movie.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to get into it, but there's some insane
Put
things.
it this way. If you guys played video games, like there was a Modern Warfare game in Airport where some bad things happened to some people, nothing compared to this movie.
No, not even close.
Yeah, so we'll finish up with our final review. Usually we go into another segment where we do like the goofs and whatnot, but there ain't nothing there.
Yeah, it's just
new
came
movie.
out. Yeah.
So anyways, maybe you guys love the Terrifier and you were thinking like, man, I wish you guys would review the Terrifier 2. Funny you should mention it because, it was requested by a member, Crazy Meg, shout out, new member to the podcast.
Yes, welcome, Meg.
New Patreon member. She wants us to review Terrifier 2, and we're going to be doing that. So if you want early access to episodes, if you want to get a bonus episode every month, if you guys just like the podcast, want to help support us, boom, join our Patreon.
Yeah, and I don't know if you said it clearly, but we're going to be doing Terrifier 2 on Patreon only.
Correct.
Yes.
And then
yeah, thank you, Meg, for requesting that, knowing that I don't want to watch it.
So there are some things that I realized in this movie that we're gonna need. Like I kind of figured out some things about part 2, right?
Well, clearly, when we were watching the movie, I realized, there's a lot of things that I probably need to know because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, but anyways, we'll get to that. But if you guys, maybe don't have the cash flow, still want to help support the podcast, easy way to do that, leave a review on Apple or Spotify. It helps out. Like seriously, we actually need the help with that because this podcast doesn't get pushed out at all unless there's more like comments and more
reviews.
It's reviews. What it is.
Absolutely.
The little stars make stars go up.
So please, if you like us, help us. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
That's all.
And if you do leave a review on Apple, we'll read it on here.
So you're famous.
Yeah. Terrifier 3. I just realized I did not put the director, but guess what? Darren did right here. And it stars these people.
And this guy's an idiot.
Okay, so this has got a pretty good review. So the tomato meter is 76% and the popcorn meter is 86%. And I didn't even, honestly, this is the first time I've realized the popcorn meter's audience. It's called the popcorn meter.
Oh, wait, you didn't know it was the audience?
Well, I knew it was the audience, but I didn't know that it was a separate name. Like the tomato meter is the critics, the popcorn is the audience.
What did you think it was?
Thought it was all the tomato meter.
How does that make sense?
I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I didn't know. This thing's hot. I didn't know there was a hot popcorn.
Oh, dude, this is fire popcorn. This is verified fire popcorn.
Okay, so wait, first, looking at those numbers, it'd be fun if we guessed the numbers. I guess I'm the only one who would have to do it because you have to put the thing up beforehand. It'd be kind of fun to guess where they're at.
I could pre-guess my numbers and write them down.
All right, we should do that. I think it'd be fun to do.
Actually, that would be fun because I am always curious, like how, like this one, if I had to guess, I would not put it that high.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. Like even what was the scroll up? What was the critics? 76?
Yeah.
This one's hard though because it's such a weird movie.
Well, let's just get into our initial impressions. That's pretty much what we're doing.
Let's go.
So, okay,
we watched spoiler free right now.
This is going to be spoiler free. Then it's going to be heavy spoilers.
Then it's just nothing but spoilers.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd honestly even care. I guess you'd want to see the different types of kills, but I watched the movie already. I've listened to podcasts before I even watched the movie, and it didn't spoil any. I didn't care.
Oh, you listen to reviews?
Oh, I listened to like 3 of them about this movie. I needed to know what I was going in for.
I know. You know what's funny? I feel like people who do reviews probably listen to more reviews than anybody because it's almost fun to listen to another review on top of your. It's almost like a thing.
I just don't know who you are. Why are you the way in which you are?
I just wanted to shock you on that. I think it worked.
It was good.
Success.
No, so my initial review. So I went into it again. I don't like Terrifier. I didn't like the first one.
I want your initial impression.
Yeah. I didn't like the first one. I came into this one not even really wanting to watch it, but it's hot. It's hot in the streets right now. So I got to say, I was impressed.
So if you guys don't know, we did the first one. It's on Patreon for free. You don't have to join. You could just, you can join for free and we have the whole review of the first one.
Yeah. So if you want to watch the first review, go to Patreon and watch it.
Yeah. And I literally, I watched it. And I told Darren, I'm like, you will not like this.
We knew nothing about this franchise. We're new to this whole Terrifier thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did not like it at all.
No, it was very dark. Not a whole lot of like plot. You don't really get to know the characters. A lot of practical effects, which that was good, but that wasn't like what we were looking for.
I like fun, scary movies, and I don't like gore necessarily. And so you could see how, even though I understand what they were doing in that one, didn't like it. But to this one, I actually enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed it, but I would never watch this on my own. But I did enjoy watching. I'm like, oh my God, what is going to happen? Here's what I'll tell you with this movie. What they have nailed is you have no idea what might be coming. Like when you think this might be over the top, they go over the top of that expectation. You know what I'm saying? And which I can appreciate that. And it does work really well.
I mean, they went to places in this movie I didn't think they would or could go. I'll say that. Like, and I enjoyed, first of all, this, like the plot, and there is much more of a plot, and there's much more like development of characters in this movie. Art even is way more interactive. I don't know. I feel like I got to know them a little better.
I feel like it was fun watching. Like they were like the first one, I just did not. The plot, the characters, I didn't care about anything. It wasn't interesting at all. This one, I was interested.
Yeah, it was dark too, though. I mean, they did some things.
Dude, they did some freaking crazy things.
That's what I will say. This has got to be on the top of the list of like, I don't know if I've seen. Hey. This is going to be the spoiler-free part. So I don't know if I've seen them go at a certain demographic so heavily.
Dude, it was wild. Here's what I'll tell you, dude. You know why this movie is good, even though I don't like it. I don't like what they've done, but I'll tell you what, it makes you think. Like it elicits a reaction. Like where I got done watching this and I'm like, oh my God, what did I just watch? Who am I?
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the spoiler zone because we got to just get into this movie. That's our initial impressions. This is where we're going to just break this whole thing down, start to finish. We run through the whole thing.
Let's go.
All right. So this is spoilers. All you out there, spoiler time. Here, Darren made that thing, spoiler thing.
What did I tell you about making work for me?
I did. All right. So the movie starts out, and I didn't realize I thought, like, was this supposed to come out on Halloween or Christmas?
Well, it came out previous to Halloween, obviously recently, but it's like a Christmas movie. I almost thought, dude, is this like a new Christmas classic horror movie?
I don't think you could call this a classic, but
it's like Die Hard, Terrifier
3. I would not watch this on Christmas time, but it starts out on a Christmas night, right? And it's a beautifully decorated house.
Very Christmas, very festive.
Yeah, so we're gonna meet the characters in this house, and not for long. But there's a mom, there's a dad. There's Timmy. You want to know that one. And there's Julie, okay? A little girl.
Yeah.
Timmy and Julie are little kids. Julie is really little. So Julie goes to her parents' room because she hears Santa's footsteps on the house. How, wonderful, right?
It's a great Christmas story,
Yeah, the mom's like consoling her and like talking to her like, yeah, it's not Santa's. She didn't say not real, but come on, like you're just hearing things, you're excited. The dad could give like this guy. It's kind of like they made him just like a deadbeat dude.
Yeah, he's also asleep, and there's also times where the mom won't shut up, and she keeps talking to him, and he's trying to sleep. Like I can respect that.
Yeah.
I think it's a woman. Honestly, my wife does that all the time where she like knows I'm tired and she just bugs me while I'm trying to sleep. Does your wife do that to you?
No, she doesn't.
There's a respect problem in my marriage. But then I'll flip it on her in the morning and she's not, whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. Hey, let's hear more about your guys' sleep life. Okay. So anyways.
I can go there if you want.
No, that's not. So anyways.
I'm not going to go there.
So Julie... Okay, so Julie gets sent back to her room, but she then hears like Santa footsteps again, whatever. She ends up going downstairs and sees Santa, who's actually Art the Clown dressed as Santa, at the tree. And then she like runs up and tells Timmy, like, Timmy, Santa's here. And he doesn't buy it or something, right?
Yeah, sure. All I know is at this point, again, this movie, you just like are scared of what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen, but you're like, what's really going to happen? You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what I'm saying with this movie. Every scene, it's like I'm nervous because I don't know what they're going to do.
We do know one thing. Art is in this house dressed as Santa, and there's 2 children. And immediately, like, you're already, in my mind, the parents are dead. They're dying no matter what with Art in the house.
I'm like, at worst, honestly, my thought is like, I did know kind of what might happen, but I'm thought, okay, he's going to kill the parents in front of the kids, which is like horrible, but I'm like, okay, that's as bad as it could get, right?
No. It can get bad, and let's just get into it. So Julie ends up going downstairs and like sneaks by him and goes into the kitchen, ends up hiding. He doesn't know she's there until later. So he walks up the stairs with an axe. He pulls an axe like out of his bag.
And everyone's sleeping upstairs.
Well, everyone except for Timmy. He's kind of awake for now until his eternal sleep. So Art goes into Timmy's room and you hear Timmy saying like, Julie, I told you to get out of my... And then it's interrupted with what can only be sounded as wet axe noise sounds.
Art is just destroying this kid.
Destroying. And so at first I'm like, cool, they didn't show it, but it's even that was like, I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
I will say, I am happy they didn't show it because I think that might be too far for me because it's already like farther than I would like. I don't enjoy that. We have children, obviously. It's not a pleasant thought.
It's uncomfortable.
I don't like it, but I will say it works for the movie because it's like, oh my God, they just did that, right?
Yeah.
Like this movie is going to be freaking insane. And hey, by the way, guys, that's not the worst thing you're going to hear in this movie.
Not even close. Not even close. So anyways, he goes so Timmy's chopped up at this point. We go into the mom and dad's room, and he just goes to town on the dad, like just chopping arms and legs, everything off.
But I do like the way they did it. It's like the mom's sleeping or trying to sleep, and the dad, you just hear the thud right next to her, just boom, the axe is just hammering into the dude. She's not moving until she realizes, I mean, it's kind of stupid. This would never happen. But all of a sudden, she's like, there's blood all over me. It's like, oh my God. There's a guy hammering my husband. That's not right. With an axe. You
don't hammer an axe, by the way.
But she's just going. It's like she just realized it. Anyways, it was shocking. It was pretty shocking.
Yeah, and again, these movies, like if you're just one who listens, you don't watch these movies. Like they hold on these murder scenes for a long time. Like you don't just like hear an axe and like you see an arm fall off. No, you're like watching the arm as it gets chopped up, and then it holds there for a while. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because I literally turn my head. I can't watch it. It's like I'll see part of it, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done. I got the gist of what's happening.
Yeah, so they really make you watch.
I gotta say, I'm gonna be honest. I think this movie would play better I guess for me in particular, if they didn't hold those scenes too long, because you could still have everything in the gore, but just cut it shorter would be a lot better.
That's not what these movies are about.
I know.
That's not. So anyways, husband gets chopped off. The mom jumps up, and this is, I would say, one of the more shocking moments in Terrifier. She runs by to Timmy's room, and they do look in the room, and he's in pieces.
Because you thought they wouldn't show it, because they didn't show it in the beginning, but nope. As Terrifier does, they go all the way, and they show pieces of the kid everywhere.
They showed Timmy's mangled, dismantled body.
That was crazy, dude.
Crazy.
That is crazy. Again, this movie is different than any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give it to him. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, she ends up escaping though, runs to the front door, only to get an axe in the back, and then an axe to the stomach, falls to the ground. Art starts again dismembering. He takes off arms, everything, and you see it, and finishes her off with an axe to the head.
I gotta say though, I do like that he used the axe, because that thing, you feel the weight of it when he hits, right? And the impact, it's just like boom, boom.
And that's the thing with the axe. There's so much time, like travel time when you're swinging it. You know what I mean? It's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's wild.
Okay. Well, anyways, he kills the mom, ends up eating milk and cookies.
Again, so I do like this about the way Art the Clown is, especially in this one. He just seemed to have even more personality. You just kind of get like, he's just an insane demon. I don't know. But he's like, he just killed everyone, doesn't care. He's just going to eat the cookies, even more disrespect. And he washed the dishes.
Yeah, that was the most disrespectful part.
Yeah, I know,
right?
Like, he cares about that, but not human life.
Well, but then he hears a noise and he finds little Julie in the cabinet. Insane.
Yeah, we don't know actually what happened to her, right?
We all know what happened to her.
Yeah, there's no way. He doesn't leave anyone alive.
See, and I was confused in this movie because I thought the girl we're going to meet was her grown up or something.
I thought the same thing.
Because that's when you're idiots and don't watch the second movie first, like you miss parts.
That's us. Hi. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a review.
All right. So now we go to 5 years prior. So we jump back, and this is like, I think this is after the second movie is what this is. I figured that out now because the cops are sweeping this house. And like the Art's on the ground, but his head's been cut off.
So that scene we just watched, that's going to be current time.
I guess.
Whatever,
I
who
guess.
cares?
Because I think that is like Art is now doing this. I think it is current.
Okay, and it is my understanding he got his head chopped off by who's going to be our main character in this movie, but that happened in part 2.
Right.
In part 2, there was a brother and sister, and they killed Art. I don't know.
Apparently that happened.
Go to Patreon for that review.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, we're going to be doing that. So the cops are sweeping the house. They say there's an armed and dangerous person. So the cops find Art's body. It's a clown body, but there's no head. He calls for backup, but then he's attacked by this headless body. I was so confused on what was going on.
Yeah, the head was gone, but the body still, I guess, can fight. I don't know.
But like not knowing the second story at first, I was like, "What is this?" Anyways,
oh, see, I knew because I listened to the podcast. I was aware of kind of what was going on.
Oh, but the cop does like shoot him in the stomach, but the cop's dead.
If a headless body's attacking you, don't even try shooting it. You're just gonna die.
Yeah.
Like right, like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure where the head was at this point. Did the girl take the head? Because it ends up at this facility. Well, we'll just get to it. So next year we're at like a psych facility where the guard hears a scream come down the hall. So he goes in, and this is where we meet Vicky, and I don't even know how to describe what was going on here. Like
so Vicky is from the first movie though. She was the survivor of the first movie. She was like the sister, remember?
The weird face.
Yeah, and she killed the reporter.
So she must have worked with Art in the second movie, didn't die, somehow got sent to a facility.
Sure.
I guess that happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's not so important to know like details of this movie, to be honest. I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, she's in this room. She's covered with blood, and on the walls, it's like Vicky plus Art. So like they're the couple, right?
Yeah, Vicky's she's got to be like possessed or something, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So this is where it gets weird because it's like Vicky and Art's head are in this room. And they're eating like a guard or something. They're eating someone, but then there's almost like an umbilical cord.
Well, that's what I think. It was like he was being birthed again or something.
Oh, you know what? I think she birthed his head.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that makes kind of sense. I don't remember seeing that in the movie.
In the world, yeah, we'll go with that.
Art was birthed by Vicky.
But just the head.
Just the head. And it was a full head. It wasn't like a baby head that grew into a big
an
head.
adult-sized head.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know how long he's been hanging out there.
Yeah. Very odd. So then we see Art's body like comes down the hall. Vicky ends up like grabbing the security guard. She grabs his mouth, and then the body comes and grabs his head. And long story short, she rips this guy's jaw off, his face off.
You know what's crazy? That I'm like, okay, that wasn't even like shocking. Like in a normal movie, I'd be like, that was crazy. In this movie, I'm like, okay, that's standard kill.
It's just like, I mean, we've already seen a kid get taken out. It's like, what else can they do?
We didn't really see it. We just saw the aftermath.
Oh, if you thought, well,
don't tell me.
Oh man. Okay, so Vicky and Art end up getting on the bus. They go for a ride home. Now we go to like their little hideout spot, their house.
Well, I did like on the bus too. There was an Art dress alike, look-alike, a clown that was dressed up like Art. I think they killed him too. They just didn't say. They hit a little horn.
I don't understand this. Why was he dressed like him though? Because it's not Halloween. It's Christmas.
I don't know.
Yeah. Odd. Anyways, yeah, he had a horn. They kill him and take the horn. They don't even show that, I don't think. But anyways, they arrive at the house. And now this is where they're going to go into like hibernation mode. I don't understand the lore of this. But Vicky looks in the mirror, is like disgusted by herself, smashes the mirror, grabs a shard of glass, slits her wrists in the bathtub. That's where she lies. Art goes in a rocking chair. And then it's like, I guess for 5 years, they lay dormant.
Yeah, they have to rest just like bears, but they go for 5 years.
I guess. I don't know what kicked off them coming back to life.
Well, people find them. We're going to talk about how they came back.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that. Okay. All right, now we go back to present time. So we went present to 5 years back to present.
And the whole point of that, I think, is just to obviously show how Art came back to life because he was killed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Vicky got out. Now they're chilling together, laying dormant. So we meet Greg, and he arrives at the psych facility. So there's going to be a whole family picking up Sienna. Now, Sienna was from the second shows. I believe Jonathan and Sienna are the two kids that survived Art's previous attack. So Jonathan, we're not going to see so much, but he is in the movie. And then Sienna's going with the family, and it's actually her aunt, I believe. Her auntie. It took me, I had to look this up.
Dude, because the age doesn't look that different.
I thought they were sisters.
Yeah, which, I mean, that happens sometimes with families. But, yes, it is her aunt with her aunt's husband picked her up.
Yes, so the husband's Greg. There's the aunt. I don't even know if I put her name in here because it's whatever. And then there's Sienna, who's the main character. And there's Gabby. And Gabby loves Sienna. That's the girl who, like, idolizes her.
Yeah, that's her...
Don't get too attached to anybody.
That's her cousin?
It is her, yeah. So
her little cuz.
Yeah. Cuz.
Do your thing, cuz.
So anyways, okay, that's that family. We're gonna get back with him. But first we go to the demolition company that's arrived at Art and Vicky's little domicile. Workers split apart. One finds Vicky, one finds Art. The one that finds Vicky, like, again, they've been sitting here for 5 years. It's like a rotten tub of blood.
Oh, it's just disgusting in there.
Oh, dude, I forgot. There's a couple shocking scenes. I just had one. I think it's coming up, actually.
All right.
It may be one of the more disturbing parts, arguably.
I feel like I have the same thing in my head.
Okay, so Vicky wakes up with a knife, ends up stabbing the dude in his neck, kills him, right?
Yeah.
He's done. Dennis now, that's the other guy's name. Threw that in there.
Good.
He's upstairs with Art, and Art is like sitting in this rocking chair. Looks very lifelike, but he's not responding, right?
Correct.
So Art ends up like waking up and like grabs the dude or something, throws him down. He sticks like a stake or a giant, looks like a giant nail, right?
Yeah,
through his hand and bites off some fingers. Now,
can he do anything without being just disgusting?
No, he's got to go far. He takes everything to the next level.
Well, he does do headshots, sometimes with a gun. He does have his gun kills. So.
His gun kills are always like fast and like they catch you off guard.
Even those are shocking, honestly.
Yeah, they shock you because it's not like a drawn out. It's just like quick, like boom, that guy's dead.
Yeah, it's like because you don't expect. It's like pow, 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 done.
Yeah, it's really just one pow though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not multiple pows.
No, sorry, I take back the pows.
So at this point, Vicky arrives. So now there's Dennis on the ground again, nailed in there, and there's Art just eating parts of him, I guess. And this is where, well, I'm just gonna say it. Vicky starts getting aroused by the scene.
Again, this movie, just when you think like you got it figured out, you don't.
No.
Yeah, this is gross. So Vicky's got like that shard of glass in her hands, and as Art's, what is he eating the whole time? Vicky's pleasuring herself by cutting herself up, and you can imagine where.
I don't know if she's cutting. I mean,
there's a lot of blood, so there's got to be cutting.
There's insertion with a piece of glass.
Well, you don't know. It's assumed insertion.
Okay, I think that's what they want you to assume.
Oh, God. It's just
dude,
gross.
It's disgusting. Art ends up taking a box cutter to this guy's face, slits it from like the chin or something, and just goes over the top. And as he peels the guy's face back, Vicky climaxes, leading to a pool of blood pouring out, and the guy's face gets ripped off. That happened.
And this is Terrifier 3.
Welcome to Terrifier 3.
So what I do like, though, I mean, it just shows you how freaking jacked the situation is. Like how freaking out there these two are.
Yeah, that one leaves me like a little shell-shocked. It's just like, there are scenes legit in this movie that just disgust me to another level.
Yeah, like I said multiple times during this movie, I just got to look away. Like I wasn't watching all of that. Like I looked to see the gist of it, so I know enough about what happened. But I don't, little details I don't need to know.
I keep my eyes locked on.
Did you really watch the whole thing?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I can't sit there.
Their practical effects are pretty awesome. And we'll get there when we get to the little ice gun deal.
Dude, the ice gun's great.
So,
the ice gun's actually cool. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go back to Sienna. Again, she's with her sister or her aunt and their family. So she's chilling with the family, but you start to learn she's got like a dark past. They give some flashbacks where there's a couple of these with her dad who drew comics, and I don't know if this was in the second movie or what, but it gets freaking weird, where he's like basically drawing her as she's like some type of a superhero with a sword.
Okay, so there's like some magical properties to this movie, because the sword's going to come into play, and I think it's a magical sword or something.
I don't know why her dad drawing her like gives her an actual power. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we missed something in the second movie there, but that happens in a flashback.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we'll hit another flashback in a little bit. But
the main thing with Sienna is she is like disturbed by what had happened. She's got some issues. She sees things. She thinks she's kind of going crazy a little bit. People think she's going crazy, definitely.
Yeah. And yeah, she's definitely got like a dark past, and she's got this journal, and she's really like, Gabby, don't read this thing. So my understanding, like basically what I understand is like, I think she's like starting to be possessed, in that she's writing these things in the journal and having these dark thoughts.
Whoa, possessed?
Well, that's the whole thing. Like Art's trying to possess her.
Oh, shoot, he is. You're right.
Yeah, so I don't know if she's having like a soft possession where, you know what I mean? Like, because she's got these dark thoughts in her journal. And
I didn't take, you might have learned more than I did. I thought it was just, she was just documenting what had happened and what she was thinking about, and I didn't know that it was like she was thinking of doing anything dark.
Well, I don't know if she really is, or it's just like soft possession again, because then she's at the dinner table and she sees the girl who died in the second movie.
Wait, so we're back at the family house. That's where a lot of this takes place.
Yeah,
right?
this is at the aunt's house.
The aunt's house with well, whatever.
Yeah, they're Greg and whatever. They're all sitting around the table and they're eating, but then she has this vision of a girl who died, her friend who died in the second movie, who just wants some goddamn rice.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just passed the lady the rice.
I mean, no kidding, right?
Yeah. But she's not really there.
Well, in Sienna's mind, she is.
Yes. So yeah, there's some like dark stuff happening to the poor girl.
Yeah, so she has this flashback. She has to go like sit by herself for a little bit.
But as far as she knows, as anyone knows, Art's gone. Art's dead. In everyone's mind at this point, except for the people they killed, but they're no longer here. So no one knows anything.
They briefly knew he was alive.
Yeah.
Not that they knew who he was.
No. That's the thing. It's like everyone's aware this really happened to her, but they treat her like she's crazy. But I'm like, I mean, a pretty big deal. How like she watched some people die.
Yeah. I can't. We didn't watch the movie. I don't know what she saw.
I know. I'm assuming.
Yeah. So let's go on to college where we meet young Jonathan. Now, this is Sienna's brother. And we learn, he survived Art the Clown, and we meet his roommate, Cole and Mia, who will be a little bit in this movie for a little bit.
I thought Cole was pretty cool, like almost like a Surfer Cali guy.
No, a chill-ish guy. Mia's like the most annoying person ever.
She's a podcaster, does a podcast about the whole art situation.
Hey,
you gotta hate podcasters.
There's nothing worse than podcasters.
No, but she's like the aggressive, annoying podcaster.
Yeah, and she's like into true crime, and she's like she's a fangirl of like these people.
Right.
Like-
and her Sienna's brother, what was his name?
Jonathan?
Did like the dorkiest, like meek. Just so his voice was so meek.
I'm Jonathan.
Yeah, like
And I survived. The clown.
I like dorky people too. I have a lot of friends that are dorks. Shout out my dorks out there. But this guy, his voice was driving me nuts, man. I'm just like, you gotta like have a little say it from your chest type.
That's
thing,
what I was gonna say.
saying?
Say it with your chest, boy. Like he's like, it's like this tiny talk. It's like, come on, dude. Like just you don't have to be that like that meek.
Yeah, it is. It's wild.
Like it just as far as just like watching a movie. Anyways, whatever. Let's go. Okay, so we meet Jonathan. They're setting us up. We just meet him for a little bit, right? Now,
To be honest, Jonathan really doesn't do much in this movie.
No.
I think he serves one
he becomes
purpose.
a decoration. We'll talk about that later. So back with Art and Vicky. So we learn Art's doing some chemistry. He's got like a compressed gas freeze torch, we'll say.
Okay, again, I like this part because it's like showing, oh, this guy, his sole purpose is just to kill people, and he enjoys it.
Yeah, so he makes, it looks almost like a fire extinguisher, but he's got it hooked up to compressed gas. And so he basically can freeze things with this, right? We'll just call it a freeze torch because it sounds cool.
But torch makes me think of heat.
I know,
you're
but
right.
if you
Freeze
think of a torch,
yeah.
you think of it freezing, it's a freeze torch.
It basically instantly freezes things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and you see how nuts he is. And actually, I kind of like this part. I thought it was kind of funny. And I don't even know if they meant it like this, but I took it like this. He froze a rat, ripped out its spine. And again, even that is gross. Like, even that disturbed me. But he rips out, then he kind of like plays and almost torments the other rats. Like he's teasing them that he killed one of them.
No, that's what I like too, because again, it shows you who he is. He just wants to torture everyone, even the rats. He doesn't care.
I respected that.
Yeah, he threw like the body at the other rats. Like,
yeah, check this out.
and he's like
you know?
laughing at him. He does a lot of that, like pointing, laughing, like he's a mime, right?
He is a mime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost said meme, but he's probably that too.
Yeah.
A mime that's a meme? Memeing mime.
Let's not go. Let's just leave it alone. All right.
All right. So now we're at a bar and we meet Santa. And it's not, guys, I'm going to be honest, it's not the real Santa. It's a bar Santa. And he's with this, like, the horniest old dude ever there. Because he had a couple girls on his lap and everything the girls say, the dude, like, has these, like, sexual innuendos or whatever.
He has the one-liners.
And he's just like, but it's, like, nonstop.
You could sit on my lap. Hey, I'm right here. I don't know. I can't
You can
think of
sit on
anything
my
else.
North Pole.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
works.
know.
Dude, yeah.
He said stuff like that. Anyways, the girls end up leaving.
And the Santa is like the nicest dude in the world.
You think the Santa was the nicest guy in the world?
I thought he was super nice. Like with the girls, he wasn't like even being perverted about it.
I guess he was an alright Santa.
And then we're gonna find out Art comes over and he's pretty nice to him as well.
Yeah, so basically in the bar now, it's an old horn dog. There's Santa and I think a bartender.
Yeah.
The girls left, they're gone. And so now Art arrives, and to be honest, this part kind of made me laugh because he loves Santa.
Well, does he, or is he just messing around?
I think he does kind of love Santa in a way. I don't know. I don't think he was messing. He was like pointing at the Santa on the wall. And he's like, Santa, and like, you're that guy, you know?
Like, oh my God, Santa's here.
Yeah. And you're him, you know? I got to say, I enjoyed this whole part.
Yeah, I did too. I thought Art was fun.
So they're having a good old time. They're chilling. They end up taking a shot, and this is where it goes bad. Art spits the shot out like directly on Santa.
Right in his face.
Right in his face, which Santa didn't like, but he was still pretty cool.
I told you the guy was nice.
Until Art then pissed on his leg.
That was too far.
So-
Art, Art, he can't help himself.
Yeah, that's where the cascade of death started. And they try to throw Art out. He ends up going to his black bag, does his shocking, he always has these in the shocking shot, where he just drops someone quick in the head, shoots him in the head.
Yeah, which one did he shoot?
Which one was it? The
Both of
bartender?
them? I feel like they all got.
I think he shot the bartender and the horny dude.
Yeah, so we were just left with Santa, who's like pleading, "Don't kill me."
Yeah, so they do like a little cutscene. Basically, Santa gets derobed, and now Art's dressed as Santa, which is, I guess, how he got the Santa outfit from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, shoot, you're right.
Yeah.
Boom.
So Santa's tied up, and now, okay, so that's what it was. It's liquid nitrogen. I was trying to remember what it is in the compressed gas.
Oh,
thing.
that's right.
It's liquid nitrogen. So, anyways, we call it the freeze torch.
Freeze torch, yeah.
I have freeze gun on here. Anyways, so he takes it, and now I got to say, this is pretty cool, disgusting, but I got to say, these effects were impressive.
It was, and it's just such a gnarly way for him to torture this man.
So what he does is he takes the freeze torch and he hits the legs first, freezes the legs, and then he takes a hammer and just takes pieces off. And I mean, they did a great job, I'm gonna be honest with this, because it looks real to where it's like, what would that look like? You know what I mean?
I'd imagine it looks something like it did, I guess. Who knows? But it was just like you could just feel this one.
Because it takes off chunks out. So because it's brittle if you freeze it like that.
But it's still meaty in there. You know what I'm
saying? It's
saying?
still meaty and bloody. So it's like, but you still have that glass effect, you know?
So this poor Santa's sitting there, legs are frozen, and he's just chipping away at him with a freaking hammer.
Yeah. Then he does, I think he takes the legs, then he does the hands, and then he freezes his head and like takes off part of his face.
Dude, that's what's just so gnarly. It's not just like, okay, we'll do a little bit and then we're like, I'll just kill him. No, it's like he's just gonna spray him and just slowly just chip away at the dude. Well, like a piece of stone you're chipping away at, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy because you think like, okay, like a normal movie, you freeze their head, you take a swing and you hit it, and it's like they're dead now.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah, this movie, no, they show you the chunks that fall off. And then you just look at that head. He's still alive, you know?
Yeah, dude. They do a great job with that.
I gotta be honest, they kind of won me with this stuff because I was like, this is impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then just to finish him off, he grabs I don't know why, but there was a snowman in here that has like a nose on it, which
yeah, I know why, because just for the scene.
Yeah, because it's like that was a nose of like, because you can take it off, so you would think it'd be like actual snow. But it's in a bar, whatever. Anyways, he grabs the carrot off the nose, sticks it in the dude's face.
Yeah, it turned him into a snowman.
Yeah, I mean, impressive.
I mean, A+. That was a 10. That was a 10 kill. That was crazy, especially because it wasn't as bloody as some of the other ones.
Might be one of my favorite. Probably is my favorite kill of the movie because I actually enjoyed watching it.
Because it was insane. It's just like, dude, I can't believe they can even do this.
Yeah, the practical effects knocked out of the park. All right, so here's where we go into a little bit of like a side arc where this might be just me misinterpreting things.
Very
but
well.
I feel like with Sienna, so we're back with Sienna and the family, and I feel like they made you think she might be dangerous to where like she might at this part I thought she might be like working with Art almost.
Oh, well, go on. I'm not
Because
sure what you're talking about.
Greg is worried about Sienna being alone with Gabby. Like he's like saying that she seems unstable and dangerous. And then there's all that weird stuff in her journal, and she's reading a letter, and in it, Jonathan's talking about they have to destroy a girl because she's evil. Now, I think this is what happened. I think there must have been a girl in the second movie that was evil, because I took it as like, okay, maybe Art's telling her she's got to kill this little girl, but it's actually Jonathan. So then I was like, is this maybe the little girl's possessed? But I think this is
I think you're off on a different. I don't think this girl was ever evil or any sorts of evil.
But there is a letter. I don't think she's evil either. Gabby's not evil.
No, Gabby's the little girl.
Yeah, but this letter was written by her brother, Jonathan. And it does say that we have to like kill this girl. Like she's possessed.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I mean, I stopped and read this whole letter.
Oh, okay. Oh.
So anyways, but I think what really happened there is I should have watched the second movie.
It's probably all explained in the second one.
So there's also a scene they show with Jonathan where he's like watching a podcast. And don't you remember there was okay, that's what I'm trying to say. The podcast where they were saying Sienna's been at all the crime scenes and they were trying to pin her as like the one who did it all.
Right.
Okay, so that's where I kind of got it in my head too. But I think
that seems like reasonable. Like she's been involved in a bunch of murders that people might think she did it.
Yeah, and I don't think they knew. Obviously, the demonic nature of Art and how he can be birthed.
Because I guess theoretically you could think that she did it and she killed Art and pinned it on him.
Okay. That's like true crime, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's meander. Like any good Christmas, you got to go to the mall and you got to see the mall Santa. Guys, shit's about to get real.
Okay. Bunch of kids there.
Hold on. Let's start off. We'll get there. Sienna and Gabby, they're going there Christmas shopping. Sienna actually sees Art walking in the mall.
But he's wearing a mask, right?
And it's a plastic Santa mask, almost like a bake rubber Santa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So seeing Sienna, this like triggers her to call Jonathan, say they need to meet, come over to the house tonight, but they're interrupted by, wait, what is this part? Is this where they're, so she does tell him she wants to meet and come over. Oh, they actually meet up, don't they? I think this is where it went. Like she was at the mall, and I don't remember if she met Jonathan at the mall, but they end up meeting.
The Jonathan was at the mall. Her brother?
Yeah, but they do go and meet. But then
oh, you're right. They do. You're right.
Yeah, then Mia and Cole come over and interrupt him during this. So I think she sees him and then they leave or something.
No, Sienna's not even sure. She just thinks that's Art, and it's not even entirely clear if it was. I guess we as the viewers
it
knew.
100% was
Okay.
Art
but she didn't know for sure.
She figures it out later, I think.
Okay.
Well, we'll all figure it out here pretty soon. But anyways, so it's Sienna and Jonathan are talking, and that Mia and Cole comes over, and she's just again fangirling out and like is way intrusive. Like she wants to interview them and all that stuff, right?
Right. They want to have him on the podcast and all that junk.
But they really do kind of just drop some backstory, probably for idiots like me who didn't watch the second one. Because you learned it's been 5 years since the initial incident, which is what we saw in the flashback, right? The aftermath.
Uh-huh.
And we learned that because I didn't even know what hospital she was in. She was in a psych facility, Sienna, that whole time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know if it was a hospital or what it was, right?
I assumed it was
And
psych.
we also learned that she did cut his head off in the second movie. So she pulls out Jonathan's letters, Sienna does, and he explains it's like a weird thing where I guess it's kind of giving the backstory of Art a little, where it explains that like how demons enter into our world.
Oh yeah, there was something like they need a host or something.
Right.
Like
And
that.
this is where they're setting up that like basically Art's going to be looking, Sienna is going to be the host, which I guess his host is that Victoria, or is it Victoria? Yeah. Is his host right now, I guess?
Well, that's the confusing part. It's like, well, what is Victoria? She almost is like a helper. So, is she not a host? Do they need a new host? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why he's switching, and who knows? It's Art, so whatever.
Honestly, when I was watching, I'm like, I don't really even care.
Yeah. So basically, this tells Sienna though that she now has seen Art, and she needs to go and get this sword that she chopped his head off with before, but she's buried it, and so she's got to go get that.
Right.
So what she does, she ends up wrapping it up as a present and puts it behind the tree back at the aunt's house.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, it's going to come back to play later. This magical sword is in a wrapped up box under the tree for some reason, but that's where it is.
Yes. Yeah. And I had to get through all that because the mall scene we need to talk about.
On its
but
own.
I had to like get that stuff out of the way,
Yes.
right? Let's go back to the mall now. Again, Sienna, Gabby, they're out of there, right?
But that is the funny, weird thing is like, it did seem like they were all at the mall together and Art's doing stuff at the mall too, but they don't interact other than when she saw him that one time.
Yeah, he's on a different mission right now.
Yes.
So yeah, he kind of looked at her, I think, or maybe, but I don't know, whatever. It wasn't that big of a deal. And let me just clarify too, that Gabby is like, they really try to make her and Sienna like tight.
Yeah.
Like
Gabby's
they're trying to build that relationship.
Yes.
And there's a reason, because they like to break those things apart, you
Of
know?
course.
So back at the mall, Santa takes a break, the real Santa, right? Or fake mall Santa. He takes a break, and Art decides he wants to be Santa. He loves Santa. He's dressed up as Santa. And this is where just so uncomfortable.
So yeah, right when you see this happen, Art sits down in the Santa chair and you're just like, okay, there's a bunch of kids around. And you're like, first of all, you're thinking like, there is a way, in your mind, like it's possible Art could, hurt a child, but you're like, there's no way, right?
Well,
there's no way.
This mall is just filled with kids, right? So anyways, he's sitting up there and he starts off and it's like, what's he going to pull out of the bag? But it's stuffed animals.
Yeah, like he's just got a bunch of stuffed animals. It's like, that's weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess it's just gonna be he's just playing Santa, he's gonna get kicked out, maybe kill some security guards. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's like he's just demented, handing out gifts. Again, he's so weird. It's like nothing about him would surprise me.
Yeah, and they're showing all these like happy children with their new stuffed animals, and everything's good until Art gets kicked out, and as he's going, we see little Corey, and Corey has a box. All other kids had stuffed animals. Corey has a box, a wrapped up gift, right?
Right.
Corey rips off the wrap, goes to open the box. Boom. Dead kids everywhere.
Dude, are we gonna get demonetized for this?
I don't know. I feel like even just saying this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane. Yeah. All the kids gone.
Like gone. And then, okay, so you're like, they show an explosion and you're like, that's okay. You just murdered a lot of children. They're not going to show anything else. Wrong.
No.
Wrong.
There's just parts everywhere.
You see intestines. I think we see Corey's head gone. Missing head. They showed all these dead children.
How do you feel about this?
It's a leap. I mean, that is bold. It's bold. I mean, part of me is like very disgusted with the whole thing because, dude, okay, first of all, it's so effed up.
It is so bad.
We've all been to the mall. We've all taken, if you have kids, you've taken your kids to the mall or we don't really do that. But
nah.
As a kid, you went to a mall. Maybe, I don't even know. Maybe I just watched that Christmas show.
I've seen it in movies. I feel like we went to a mall.
Maybe it's just movies.
Yeah.
You all know the scene, right? And Christmas, happiest time of the year, right? You see all these happy children, innocent creatures, and they just decide to kill them all in front of us.
It's so weird because at one hand, I'm like, I like that they just go. You know, I like that in this movie, there is no boundary because that makes it so as you're watching, you're just like, I don't know what's going to happen because nothing's off the table.
Yeah, nobody is safe in these movies, like
And
literally.
And I do like that. It makes the movie very effective. In the same token, the kids stuff, I don't like it, but I don't like anything about this movie. Like, I don't like the extreme gore either, right?
Yeah,
But it works. I get what it is.
I respect what they're doing, but I don't like it. I just personally will not like that. I don't even know if it's really needed. It's hard to say, man, because it does work. Their intentions, what they meant to do with that scene, I think is exactly how I feel is like what they wanted.
Here's why it works. Because in the next one, it's like, dude, what are they going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the line?
I think I
There
don't
is no
even
line.
know. I don't even know because at this point they just have to show some of those scenes that they cut through.
Nah.
Like that's the next step. It's like instead of the bomb going off, like cut explosion. You
can't do it. You can't do it.
I don't think you can either, but that's the next step.
I don't think they even should. I think the way they did it is too far and enough.
I agree, but I'm just saying
dude, it's such a mental conundrum. It's like, I hate it and I think it's disgusting. At the same time, I understand and it works for the movie.
Controversial.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. It is crazy.
Okay. We had to, that was the most disturbing scene of the movie. But it's not even, there's some other scenes that are pretty out there. That's as far as most disturbing, but I didn't really love that. There's some other scenes I love coming up. Let's just move on.
So many memorable and just interesting, crazy things that happen in this movie.
I actually think the twist at the end, which we'll get to, is my favorite, but we'll get to it. Okay, so Art ends up arriving at a Christmas fraternity party. And actually, to be honest, I thought there'd be more just murdering these college kids.
Oh, dude, I was actually down for this part.
Yeah, it's let's be real, some drunk, annoying frat guys. It's we've just seen kids get taken out. It's I won't shed a tear for this one, you know?
No.
Yeah, so there's a funny scene where me and Cole are talking about Art, and I just thought they added a lot of little humorous parts.
Just to say, me and Cole are the roommates of Sienna's brother.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah.
So they're in there talking about Art, and basically she's she wants to meet him. She's all about it, right?
Yeah, she's all about this life. One of those girls.
Yeah, and Cole's well, you want to sleep with him. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. And it's just funny because Art hears it and he's all like disappointed acting.
Yeah,
you
she's like,
know?
I want to be close to evil, but I don't want to sleep with him. And he's like, oh, dang it.
Yeah, it's just, they add those. He's not funny, but he is. Like,
he's
not-
entertaining.
He's entertaining, but he's not.
He's an entertainer. He is.
I guess
That's what he is.
A little demon clown. So anyways, things are going to start moving quick now. We're getting towards like the wrap up. We're in the final stage, the final act of the movie.
Dude,
kind of.
This movie's like 2 hours long.
Oh, it's really long.
Oh, I was watching this and I'm like, I'm just looking at the time, like, please let this thing end.
Yeah.
But I'll say I was entertained, but I wanted it to be over. You know how sometimes when you watch the scary movies, it's like exhausting.
Oh yeah.
That's how this is.
Yeah, because it's pretty fast. I mean, there's a lot of people dying all the time.
Oh yeah. I wonder what the body count. Oh god.
Oh, it's high.
Yeah.
I mean, that mall alone
Yeah.
racked them up. Okay. So, Sienna and Greg, they see this news report of the bomb going off, right? So this is back at the house. They're back at the aunt's house. This is where the movie kind of finishes up. But Sienna knows for sure Art's there now, like without a doubt, although she already knew because she got the sword. They call Jonathan to warn him he's in danger, and then Greg leaves to go get Jonathan. So Greg's the uncle. He leaves, go pick up Jonathan.
And just the vibe, is it snowing?
We'll say it is.
I feel like it feels like it's like a great Christmas atmosphere, other than the killing, but it's like snowy. Even the house, it's like lit like a fun Christmas house.
It's like a
warm,
Hallmark. It's a
warm.
Hallmark movie house.
Yeah, yeah.
So they really like hit you with weird, like I don't know what's the word, like contradictions or conflicting like emotions. Where
Well, no, yeah, it's a setup. It's
Yeah.
like you're safe in your nice cozy home, but it's gonna change.
well, it's like you look at it and you get the warm vibes. Like you feel warmth and like comfort, and it's like that fun time of year. It's Christmas family, but then you have this demonic clown that's so it's like it messes with you.
Dude, it works though. It works so well.
Yeah, yeah. So meanwhile at the party, Cole and Mia I forgot. So this is back at the frat party. Cole and Mia are boning in the shower.
Yep.
That's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah.
Again, overrated stuff though. I mean,
Yeah, you're
shower-
hooking up in the water. It's great in theory, but
I guess it looks cool in the movie standing, but let's be real. Let's just lay down. Let's just,
yeah.
I'm like, 2 man, you 2 or not 2 man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Two men.
Like a 2 position guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not 2 man.
Thank you for that
So anyways,
information. But let's get back to the movie.
Like just do, we know what works.
Hey, well, I
mean-
get what you're into. Let's go back.
So while that's going on in the shower, Art's just taking a piss in the urinal. It's just funny. He's got a great shake off, by the way. Like, you cut the stream, you had to do a little shake. He has a whole routine. That's you can't even really show it. So whatever.
No,
Anyways.
I don't think I could show anything.
Yeah. So Art goes into his black bag, and this was kind of shocking. He pulls out a chainsaw.
I thought this was cool, especially being Texas Chainsaw fans. I'm like, hey, let's see what you got with that saw.
Well, he's going to show you.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's like all the kills need to be different, right?
yeah,
and
that's what these movies are about.
Hey, and they've done a great job.
Yeah, and we should go over our favorites at the end. We'll see.
Okay.
So he breaks through the shower, cuts the guy's hand. I thought he cut it off, whatever, cuts fingers, and then he cuts off a leg. And now I will say this scene right here, actually,
Oh,
to be
God.
honest, this was the most disturbing scene in Terrifier to me. And even more so than some of that stuff we talked about. This one made me like cringe and like flinch. So he cuts off the dude's leg, but it's barely hanging on. And the dude goes to stand on it.
Oh, I hate
And his
those.
leg buckles, and it made me right now I have goosebumps. Like
Yeah,
it's
I'm
so
like-
gross. There's something about that bone, like in going to stand that you feel more
Well,
than other stuff.
Because if you ever had an injury in your leg, you kind of generally know how that would feel. But there's something about it where I can almost feel it. And it's just like, oh, guy, it is horrible.
It was bad.
Dude, I just think about remember the Texas Chainsaw scene in the Netflix version where he's on the bus and he's ripping through people and everyone's like, at the time that was a big deal. Everyone's like, oh, it's so disgusting.
That's
This is
nothing.
that's nothing compared to this guy.
If you played games, Postal.
Yeah.
This is Postal. It's like the next level of a game. It's too far.
Yeah. It went too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just tears through him with that saw, but it's effective, man. And I had to look away. I could not watch this whole thing.
Yeah. So he kind of takes that guy down. He's a wounded animal now. Moves on to Mia, cuts her stomach. And again, it's not just like cutting. It's like you see that thing go in and just tearing stuff apart.
It's like,
you know what I
and he's
mean?
moving it around.
Yeah,
and,
there's always like a jiggling in there. They like to show these effects. It's freaking disgusting. Ends up like cutting her face off, and then he finishes with like a little boop on her nose. That was kind of funny.
I mean, he's
He
trying,
did,
to,
like,
he's
a
trying to
little
be cute.
like that thing, you know? So, then he cut her in half at the end too. Whatever. So now he goes to Cole, and
Cole's laying on the
actually,
ground.
now that I think about it, sorry, that other one was disturbing. This was worse.
Oh God.
So if you remember from the first movie, one of the most disturbing is where he had the girl upside down and he cut her in half
Right.
from, it was gross, through the
Yeah.
nether regions.
If you cut someone straight down,
yeah, and she's upside down. It was gross.
started from the legs down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in between.
Yeah.
And so this is they decide they want to remake that scene, I guess.
This is the guy version.
This is the guy version. So, oh my gosh. So he's laying on the ground and he cuts him through the testicles, through the stomach in half, and they show it.
See, I didn't even look. I knew what was going on. I didn't look.
Twig and berries are shown.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
I mean, and then he goes all the way like up to the chest, But see, then you're like, okay, that's like, it was shocking, disturbing, disgusting. But then it's like he's not done. They're not done with the scene. He's got to take off arms and legs. You know what I mean? He always de-limbs.
Well, he just rips people apart.
Yeah. And then he finished them off with that's right. He does a blood angel.
Oh, yeah. He goes, lays in the blood. And
I mean,
but again, it shows you like he just loves doing this stuff. This is who he is.
He's an artist. I'll give him that.
It's exhausting even just going through this,
I forgot about that scene. I forgot because I was thinking, I'm like, oh, that was so gross when he stood on a leg. But then I forgot the wiener. There's something about showing that stuff too. Is just like even more disturbing.
I mean, that one's too much for me. And to be honest, like the gore, this is like a chainsaw stuff. This isn't something we haven't seen before. I mean, we haven't seen that version of it, but I've seen people being like taken off with a chainsaw and all that stuff. This was just like, I was ready for that to be over.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So Greg ends up to pick up Jonathan. We already said that he's going to Jonathan. So he calls him on the phone. And it's just a quick scene they show. Something's not right about this phone call though, because Jonathan sounds a little demonic.
He doesn't sound right.
He doesn't. And when I watched, I'm like, that was weird.
I thought the same thing too. I'm like, Jonathan sounds off, but he said he's going to be out to meet him soon or something, right?
Yeah. Something like that. So he's going to pick up Jonathan. Sure, nothing will go bad there. Now, okay, this is like, it kind of like jumps here where it like ramped up like real quick. Like I would say 0. I mean, it's already like going like 99 miles an hour, but like it goes to 100. You know what I'm saying? It's not 0 to 100 because this whole movie is like 99.
He's trying to explain it happens really fast.
But this stuff happened and you just didn't know it happened. So it kind of catches you a little off guard.
Right.
So
you're right. A lot of things off camera happen.
Yes. So we go to Sienna. She has a flashback again with her dad. And this gets freaking weird right out the gate. Her dad, I swear this was like a flashback in a flashback. I don't know what was going on. Her dad's drawing her with wings, and then her dad has a flashback of art, but something bad happens. I don't even know what that was. Then she's in a dungeon, Sienna is, with like a gimp.
Yeah, like the gimp's like, someone's like controlling the gimp, and the gimp's making something, and she's watching it.
Maybe it's like the creation of her armor. I thought there was armor or like a sword, maybe.
It seemed... again, I don't know what the heck's going on. To me, it seemed like her dad was making her like a superhero.
I don't know where these demons, I mean, the sword is real, so I don't know. It was weird. We'll just end it at that. So,
and by the way, still at this point, Sienna hasn't seen art other than in the mall. She doesn't know what's been going on.
Well, yeah, we know he blew up some children.
But she doesn't know that. Oh, she does because she saw the report.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So she ends up waking up. She wakes up, but she hears Greg, who's the uncle, talking bad about her and how they're going to smother her and set her free. So things aren't good. And this is at the house. This is back at the aunt's house. So she walks downstairs, and this is where it's like, boom, we're in another world. This ain't the Hallmark house no more.
Dude, it just gets, I mean, that was shocking because you hear them talking about her, like, what is going on? And then you see the scene.
Yeah. So, and it took me a while to piece together what because I didn't even realize people were dead that were dead.
I know.
So apparently in the kitchen, Greg is like splayed open on the wall.
It's hard to even tell it's him
Yeah.
because
things
he's
are
like
missing.
in pieces, but he's like pinned on the wall.
Pinned on the wall. The stomach is cut open. We'll get to that because there's a reason it's cut open. He has no head, so that's probably why it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
There's no head. So Sienna ends up getting captured and tied to a chair. So now, okay, Vicky's the bad one.
Well, what I did like about that though, it's almost like this is Art and the whatever Vicky's version of a Happy Christmas.
They're having a great time.
Yeah, the best of times.
Yes. So Art and Vicky, they're kind of like chilling in the house, and we see Jess is the aunt. So that's her name, Jess. She's sitting across from Sienna, but there's a present in between them that looks like a head.
So both the women are bound to the chair facing each other.
Right.
Right.
So Vicky's taking pictures as like Art's working on dismantling Greg some more.
Yeah.
So just disgusting stuff. Art decorates the tree now with Greg's organs. Nice touch. And then we see instead of the star on the tree, it's Greg's head.
That was beautiful. I mean, that was a good touch.
Kind of made me laugh.
The problem is I could barely even tell it was Greg.
Yeah, I didn't realize who this stuff was until a little bit later.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
A couple minutes into this. So Arden's like he's pointing, laughing. Everything's great with him, right?
Yeah.
So now we get to another scene where Jess asks where Gabby is. Again, Gabby's a little girl that loves Sienna. So Jess is her mom.
Right.
So they're like, where's Gabby? Where's Gabby?
And
again, you see this head-like thing in between them, right?
It's clearly there's a head in whatever this wrapper is. You know it is, so you're like, who's in there? And then you're thinking like Gabby's dead.
Yeah, and Art is just like so excited to show them what's in this present.
Well, yeah, he worked hard on it.
Yeah. So he goes over to the present to unveil a bird cage, which again was just a weird touch
Yeah.
because it looked like a whole head, but it was a bird cage with a small skull inside.
So you're thinking that's Gabby's skull.
Gabby's dead.
Right.
But is she dead? So at this point, I was honestly shocked. Like, I'm like, okay, they killed Gabby.
Yeah, like almost anticlimactic. It's just like, oh, I mean, okay, that's her head. She's gone.
Yeah, I was just shocked they got rid of her so quick like that and off camera, you know?
Right.
At this point. So anyways, Art ends up grabbing a blowtorch. Now this is an actual blowtorch and a clear plastic tube. And you're like, wow, what's going to happen here?
Dude, it's almost the funny part about it is like he's just grabbing stuff like what crazy way can I kill someone?
Yes, and well, they really knocked out of the park with the effects here. So what he does is he takes this plastic tube and he goes to Jess the ant and shoves it in her mouth. Not only shoves it in her mouth, and this is huge, a big tube. He hammers it in. So it's like painful to watch, right?
Right.
And you're like, okay, now what's the point of that? Well, he goes into Gabby's, I'll call it Gabby's cage, the bird cage, because there's rats in there too.
Right. Rats are eating.
Pulls rats out, puts them in the tube, heats up the other side of the tube so they only have one way to go. Because we've all seen the bucket thing that I guess mobsters used to do, where you put a bucket on someone's stomach and then you heat up the bucket, then the rats eat through.
Yeah.
This is a version of that. This is Art's version. He sends the rats down her throat, and you're like, that is disgusting and disturbing. But that's not the end of this. Is Terrifier. They don't just end it there. Vicky slits the throat and lets these rats come like dripping off out of. So you see the rats go down the throat in her mouth, and then they're cut out and they drop out of the throat.
That was shocking, and that was the most shocking, disgusting scene. One of them. I can't even say for sure is the worst, but it was like the most clever.
I gotta be honest. When they cut the throat and they came out, I'm like, okay, that was a different one.
I want to be clear. I don't support you, Art, but I was like, that was an interesting way to get a kill.
And just to like, again, every kill they prolong them. So they show you more than you ever think you'd see.
Oh God. Yeah. Cause you're like, okay, they went down in her. Okay. That's disgusting. Nope. We're going to show them coming out too.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was a short trip for them. Really. It was just the mouth out the.
Yeah. You would have thought they would have went further, but nah.
No, they really didn't. Yeah. So anyways, Vicky gets in Sienna's face and tells her she's no savior. So this gets like on some biblical stuff here. This is like ain't like demons, Christianity kind of weird things they're putting in here. don't really love that in these movies, but they put a crown of thorns on to Sienna because they're saying she's not a savior.
And Vicky's like, the way she's talking, it's like clearly she's like possessed.
Oh, well, she's a demon. These are all demons.
Right.
Okay. So we see here that Art is like, it's like basically Art is both of them.
Yeah, it's really, I was confused on what exactly was going on.
Yeah, he kind of like is both of them. Like he talks as her, but it's him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no longer do I see Vicky at this point as Vicky. It was Art.
Yeah, because Art doesn't have a voice though, so he's got to talk through her, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. I wonder why he doesn't have a voice, but that's a whole other thing. Anyways, so we learn now. Okay, this is a good twist right here. So we learn that Gabby's not actually dead. They go and they bring her downstairs to show, because I think they wanted to show Gabby the mom or something. Oh, because this is a point where they're torturing. We learn they're kind of torturing Vicky to break her.
Oh, that's right.
So this whole thing is like
Vicky. Is that the main girl's name?
I said Vicky. It's Sienna.
Yeah,
they're torturing Sienna so that Art can get into like her and like possess her.
Yeah, because you know that whole idea with demons, it's like they prey on the weak. They need to totally break her so Sienna has nothing to live for. That way they can possess her.
Right. So that's why they bring Gabby down and they show that Gabby's alive. But then you're like, well, whose skull is that?
Right.
And then Art takes off his glasses and he puts them on. It was Jonathan.
He put the glasses on the skull, and that's how you know it was her brother.
Yeah, which is, I loved the twist actually, because it's so dark and it's like, oh my God. Like, because it goes from like, oh, thank God it's not Gabby. But then it's like, it's your brother.
Yeah, it's like, you know, arguably just as bad.
Yeah, so it was like a quick twist of like, oh, I'm happy for a second. Then I'm like, oh, I'm not happy at all.
That was a great reveal.
That was one of my favorite parts actually. So Sienna's like fighting off his attempts. Art grabs a knife because they're trying to break her. He puts it to Gabby's throat. Gabby says something about the presents. Now I forget how they kind of did this, but it was like Gabby started talking about.
She wanted to open up like her Christmas present.
Well, okay, this is the weird part because it was Sienna who put the present there. But I think Gabby pretended that it was her present for Sienna.
Yeah, whatever. Because Gabby had read the letter, like read the diary where I think Sienna must have said that she put the present there. Whatever.
No. I think the sword. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, you're right. Whatever. Long story short, they trick Art into like letting Sienna open this present from Gabby before they kill Gabby.
Right.
So, which again is the sword, right?
Correct.
First, though, he smashes her hands.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it looks painful, but it's at this point like I'm immune.
Yeah, she's trying to open the present. Her hands are all jacked, and it was. Yeah.
I've lost feelings. I don't know how I can even watch a horror movie and be scared anymore or like disgusted.
I mean, I still can pretty easily. I didn't enjoy this.
This movie numbed me as a person.
When you watch it, you almost have to prepare yourself mentally for it.
Yeah. So Sienna opens the box and immediately grabs the sword because now her hands are free. She slits Vicky's throat and then she's like throws the sword into Art. Right. So followed by at some point I think she pulls it out of the stomach. I forget. She cut off Veronica's head at some point. All right. Oh yeah, because there's a chainsaw battle. So she stabbed Art, then she got the sword back. I don't know. There's a chainsaw battle with Art with a chainsaw and Sienna and the sword.
Right.
And I'm gonna kind of paraphrase some of this. Art gets cut, Sienna gets cut, Gabby talks to her dead mom, Sienna punches Art in the nuts, Art shoves Sienna into Greg's stomach, Art chokes her and gags her with Greg's intestines that she has to bite through.
Oh, that was disgusting.
And then she ends up stabbing Art through the stomach and impels him into the wall. And did you want to say something before I finish?
Before we get there, yes. Gabby, so during this whole scene, Gabby, like, you know, Sienna's fighting with Art. It's craziness around you. Gabby just goes and just starts talking to her mother. You brushed over that. There's no reason. It's pretty clear her mom's dead. There's no reason to talk to her. How about you help Sienna in this situation of life and death?
You know, I can't even judge a child in this position. I don't even know. You might be talking to a wall. Like
you're just so jacked up.
Your mind's gone. Like the stuff that's happened here. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's fair.
Okay. So Sienna impels Art into the wall and then there's like an acidic ish fog that goes on the floor, and it opens up a hellhole.
It seems like a portal to hell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which Gabby falls right into.
Well, Sienna tried to save. Oh,
No.
Okay.
She's alive. Gabby falls into the hole, but she's like holding on to something.
Yeah.
Again, the classic cliffhanger thing, right?
Exactly.
So now Sienna has
That's
to make
stupid.
a decision, yes, to leave Art, like either to finish Art off or help Gabby, which in my mind, the time she took to make the decision, just cut his head off and go save her.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have a Terrifier 4. Well, I guess you could. There really is. I mean, Art can come back from anything.
She's
right?
already cut his head off. I don't even know what really, other than people finding them in that house, what really spawned this whole thing.
You know what would kill Art? Low numbers for the movie. If people didn't watch it, that would kill Art.
And I will tell you, there will be a 4.
Oh, this thing's gonna go down the road.
I mean,
for a while.
and I can't wait to see
There's
what
so
they come
much-
up with.
I'm shocked at how much whatever. Let's
Okay,
finish.
yeah. So, anyways, now this was the worst decision I think I've seen in a horror movie.
It doesn't make any sense.
So, okay, Gabby is stuck, again, the cliffhanger thing where she's barely holding on, about to fall in the hellhole. Sienna can't reach her, so she needs something to bridge that gap between her and Gabby. It could be I don't know, a piece of wood.
A broom handle, just something.
Anything. Literally anything was better than a blanket. I don't know. Anything is better than what she chose. What she chose to do is take that sword and grab the sharp end of the sword and hand it down to Gabby for her to grab the handle.
Right. So she's going to pull her up but while pressing her hand into the blade, which is never going to work.
Ever going to work. That is the worst. It was doomed from the start. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, I get why they did it just for another disturbing scene, but it really didn't make any sense.
Yeah, because I'm there's just no way. It's you're not gonna lift like that, let alone
I mean,
her.
well, here's the thing: if you're hanging down in that hole and I'm in that situation, and I have the sword, I would just be like, well, if that's all I have, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna be able to get you. I'm not grabbing the blade to help you get up.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe you could even bridge the gap by laying over the top and then putting your arms down.
We're thinking too much.
Okay, you're right. Whatever. If you didn't figure it out, Gabby definitely falls to her death.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
She falls into hell.
I would say she fell and she's gone. I would assume she's probably coming back in the next movie.
Well, this is where things get weird. So she falls into this hole. She's gone. Sienna takes the crown off and then her hands heal in front of her.
Yeah, which is bizarre.
Don't understand it. That's some weird.
She's got some sort of power. Because even the sword, it's there's this magical aspect.
So it's I think it's almost some heaven and hell stuff, obviously, going on. There's the demons, and then she's almost like an angel-ish creature.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somehow-
Valkyrie, wasn't the Valkyrie, isn't that a thing? I don't know if it's an anime thing. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I would still just stick with
I watched
angel
some
types.
cartoon with women soldiers. I don't know.
Okay. So, anyways, now that's that scene. Art escapes, and we see him get on a bus. And there's a girl reading a book that's the 9 Circles of Hell or something. And he sits next to her. He's bloody, he's dripping blood. And he pulls out a horn, honks it. The end.
I did like that though, because Art's exhausted. Art's been through a lot. And he's just sitting there in that bus, just but he still got his humor.
He still has his humor. All right. Well, okay. We got to get our pins out. This is the time for us to give our final ratings.
I don't have a pin.
I'll give you a pin. Actually, yeah, here's your pin. And here's
Okay.
my pin. We're going to write down because we tend to give the same scores. I think our scores are going to be way different on this one.
It's going to be because I don't even, right now, I'm not even sure what to rate this because it is so weird. Because it's
I know my rating. I'm done.
Really? But don't you think this is a hard one to rate? Because this is so not my movie, and I don't typically like these types of movies. But there are things that I appreciate with this. I enjoyed certain things about this movie.
Yeah, I think they nailed what they were trying to do in this movie. It's very disturbing, and that's what they want.
It's hard for me to rate this though, because it's for me, it's a 2, but it's not really a 2 because the movie was kind of good.
Would you shut up and just write down a number?
Okay, here you go first. Wait, hold on. Okay.
Are you done?
Okay. All right. I'll lock it in.
Okay. I'm giving it a 6.6, and I would add another. I'm going to say 6.66 because this is just a demonic movie, disturbing. It deserves the 666, and I mean, overall, like, I don't enjoy this. I didn't enjoy some of these scenes were, I would say, way too far, but I respect the amount of creativity and, as far as practical effects, pretty amazing stuff they did. That, I mean, the freezing gun stuff, some of it was so disturbing and creative, and this had way more of a plot. I liked some of the twists. There were some funny stuff, like things that made me laugh. But I think they just did such a good job of toying with your emotions in this, you know?
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
Out the gates, that murder scene was just brutal in the beginning.
Oh, dude, just a shocking way to start the movie.
Yeah.
I went with a 7.1.
Wow, you went higher.
Because, no, will I ever watch this movie again? No.
No, I won't.
But, like, for all the reasons you said, and I just think that it's such, like, a thought-provoking movie. Like, it's got everyone talking. And for that reason alone, it gets a good score. Like, it made me feel inside all sorts of different things. It was just crazy. And I like craziness. I like shocking things. So it's like, I like you. I appreciate what they're doing with this. This is not my style of movie. I would never recommend anyone watch it because I would be afraid of what people might think of me. No, I don't like bloody. I don't like any of this stuff, but it was interesting, and since I've watched the movie, I've thought a lot about it.
I will say, like, compared to the first one, this to me is so much better.
Oh, it's a better movie, 100%.
Yeah, and I know the first one was like, that was just a showcase, I guess, of practical effects for him. I think if you're into this type of movie, it's great. If you're not, it's horrible.
But either way, man, it makes you think.
Yeah. Do you want to go over a couple, like, just real quick for fun, like our most disturbing? And
Sure.
All right. So out of all these scenes in the movie, I guess, well, let's just do, like, what was your favorite kill?
Oh, dude, it's gotta be the freezing one. Where he used the freeze torch.
On Santa?
Yeah, I think that was my favorite because, one, it wasn't as gory, and I thought it was just insane how he chunked away that body. That was crazy.
I mean, I think we both agree on that. Then let's just go to, like, what was the most disturbing? I think there's two. I think they're, like, disturbing and shocking. I would say, what's the most disturbing? Like, what was your most disturbing
It's
kill?
the kids. That's
Which
gotta be the
one,
most, the blowing up with the presents. I don't know, the kid getting hacked away. I think,
dude, honestly, I gotta go with that, with little Timmy or whatever his name was, getting axed up. Like,
just listening to it and hearing it and knowing what was happening, that was probably more disturbing.
It was so early, and it's Christmas Eve, the worst time as a child to be murdered. So
yeah, you didn't even get your presents yet.
No. Now that I think about it, he got murdered. Okay, so he must have done all that killing on Christmas Eve.
I don't know.
Because there was a Santa thing too. Because we didn't make it to Christmas Day, I don't think.
I don't think we did. That probably was. I mean, the kids, just as the idea was more disturbing, but the listening to him get the kid in the room was brutal.
Okay, then what was the most shocking kill?
Probably, I mean, the tube with the rats was pretty shocking to me.
See, that was it. That was one. I think, honestly, the redo, the new kill, the new chainsaw of the dude through the nuts that disturbed me. And you know what? Honestly, to be, like, perfectly honest, the most disturbing scene was actually the guy trying to stand on his leg.
Oh God,
that's the one I actually felt the most.
That actually made me feel like inside, like squeamish.
You squirmed because you became
God
squeamish.
Well, that's our review, man. You're welcome.
It was disturbing. The most disturbing movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we're gonna say that. Where do we go from here, guys? We need something. We need the Leprechaun or something next, but it's not what we're gonna do because I think we're doing Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah,
the first one.
Let's go. Let's go, Freddy.
Let's get the hell out
of
here.
These other killers seem like such good guys compared to this.
I mean, seriously, right?
I mean, for real.
All right. Special thanks to all our members. Thank you to the new patrons. I mean, we got a couple of you guys. You guys are the best. You're right here.
Yeah, thank you.
And if you guys, I don't know, want to hit the like button, subscribe, whatever else you can do, leave a comment.
Tell your friends about it.
Actually, that's a big one. We never say that, but you guys should tell your friends.
I think you should tell everyone.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, guys. Catch you on the next one.
See ya.